Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So sorry I didn't have a video for you last week, but I didn't really have anything to show you because I was just on with the same as I was the week before, getting the roof insulated. So that is all finished now, apart from there's that skylight to do and that skylight to do, but I've done the other two. Yeah, and that's that finished. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So there's still, well, them roof lights, I made a wooden frame round it and then cut the clear sheet to fit in the gap because it wouldn't match up with the ridges. And there's just that to do on them. And I need to get some new lights as well. But yeah, that's all the roof insulated. There's a few bits where it sort of don't quite fit properly, but I think it looks alright. So obviously it's still not that warm in here because none of the sides are insulated yet, but I've got the heater going today and it definitely does make a difference, especially if you go up there on the mez floor. It's a lot warmer up there, so I need to get a ceiling fan to blow all the warm air back down again. And it stopped the dripping, stopped the condensation dripping, so that's good. That was one of the main reasons of doing it. Anyway, on to the first job for this week. Right, so I've got this frame to repair. So this frame is off the back of a slurry tanker, I think, and I think it holds the booms. On the back of a slurry tanker you have booms that open out for like dribble bars, and I think this is what holds them. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's just come in to me as this frame. It's like a warranty job through Ripon Farm Services, so they brought it to me to sort out. Now someone's had a go at it before, I'm not really sure why, but they've welded these extra bits of box section across. One there and then that one there, but I can't really see why they've done that or what the benefit of that is, because it doesn't look like it's really added any strength. In fact, in some places it's actually taken strength away from it, because look at all that undercut on that weld. Same underneath there. The weld has burnt into the box section and undercut it and actually made it weaker, because it's made the sidewall of the box thinner because it's melted some of the metal away. So yeah, it's not been very well welded on at all. Right, look at them welds. So yeah, I don't understand why they've done that. Same with this bottom one. Far too much power on when they've welded them on. Not enough wire. The problem now is it's cracked across here where this gusset has been welded in. I think they're original. They're nice welds when you look at them compared to what someone else has done. So I'm guessing these are original. It's done the same at that side. Someone's had a go at welding that up before. I'm guessing it's the same person that welded them boxes in. But yeah, the problem is the box is just not thick enough. It's only 4mm thick is that box, and they're the main uprights. These cross pieces, they're made out of 8mm box, so I don't understand why they've made them out of 8mm and then the main uprights out of 4mm. Especially when that's 100x100 and that's only 100x50. So just a bit of a poor design. I'll get these cracks welded up first, so I'll drill a hole in the end of the crack there and there, then I'll grind them out and then re-weld them. I'll grind into that as well, see what's underneath there, and then, well, I was thinking to chop all that box section out and replace it with some thicker box section, but I think it'd be easier just to plate over the side of it, because I can get a lot of strength back into it just by plating it over, and it'd be less work and easier than having to cut it all out. battery. Right, so I've got them ground out. I've ended up with quite a big hole there because when I cut into it, I could see the crack, and then the crack sort of went off that way when I'd gone that way. So the bit that had cracked, I had to get rid of that. But anyway, that should fill in. And same at this side, I'll fill it in. So I'm plating over that anyway, so I'm going to use the jasig to weld it up because it's a lot more easier to use on delicate jobs, or easier to set up because the torch is smaller, so you have to fill it in nicely with that hopefully. Might just tack something across there as well, just in case, because when I'm welding up on one side I don't want this box to pull out a little bit. It maybe won't, but just to be sure. Right, so that's then welded up and ground down. It was quite tricky with it only being so thin. But yeah, I'm saying plating over that anyway, so as long as something like. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut some plates out to go all the way up this side, all the way up to the top to that gusset there, with holes down so I can weld it back through to the original box. And then this bit here is going to have a press on it so it comes onto this bit as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through that. Then the new plate will be on here and round there up to that bit, and then this will get welded back on to the new plate that I'm putting in rather than welded to this thinner box section. And then it will come down to here somewhere. I wasn't quite sure how this fit onto the tanker. I thought it maybe slotted into a box section by the look of this slot here, but apparently it doesn't. It just goes into some jaws, into a jar like that, and a pin goes through. And on this side you can sort of see where it was, well, drew a chalk mark around it, but you can sort of see how it fits. So I'm going to come down to here with my plate, around here, and then across there. I got a minimum, or the lad that works there, I got him to get me a minimum and maximum width off the jaws, and they're not wide enough to plate all the way down, which is a shame. It would have been better if I could have plated all the way to the end, but I can't. But yeah, that's what my plates are going to look like. So obviously the cross box section's not on, that's just the upright. But that's going to plate up that side, up to that gusset that comes out this way. And then that'll be the big bit that gets pressed over the top. And then when I cut down that other gusset, that'll get welded back onto this bit here. And on the inside, I'm going to do the same. And then put a press on the end, and then that'll get welded onto the box section. It goes across that way. And that should beef that up a lot. So yeah, I've got them ready to cut out. Got my plate ready. That's 5mm plate. So we'll get them cut out of there now. Right, that's them cut out, so I'll get them lifted out and give them a clean up, get them pressed, and then now I'll have to grind down the side of the box section where the welds are going to be. So that's them bits pressed now. So that's pressed on there, and then that bit's pressed on there to go onto that bit. So what I want to do now is I'm going to run the grinder down there. I think I maybe already said this, can't remember. Run the grinder down there, make a slot, and then that plate will slide into there, and then I'm welding this back onto that, because that's actually 6mm. I thought I was going to originally come out of 5mm, and then when I lifted my plate down, there was a bit of an offcut of 6. So yeah, they're cut out with 6mm, not 5mm. So when I weld this back onto there, it's going to be welded to 6mm plate rather than this 4mm box. And then obviously them holes to fill in with weld to weld it to get the strength back onto there as well. So yeah, I'll drop down now with the grinder, make a gap big enough for that to slot into. Then that's also, it's not welded back onto where it was cracked as well, so it should all help. Right, so that's that plate on there. So I chopped around that for that to slide into there. And then that'll get welded onto that gusset. And weld around all them. Under there. And same on the inside. That just wants a bit grinding out, that weld there, so this goes up a bit more. And I added a bit more onto here from there to close that gap up, to weld that onto that. So yeah, I've marked around all them where I need to grind off, but before I do that, I'll do the same on this side, get cut through there, get it all set up, mark around where I need to grind off the paint, and then take it all off and do it at the same time. Right, so that's that side on as well. Just have to grind a little bit out under there to fit around that lot. Look at the state of that undercut there on that weld. But yeah, I've drawn around where all the cutouts are now, so take them back off again, grind them up, put them back on and get them welded on. I had to take that box off that I had welded across there because it was in the way. It did spring a little bit, so I might just have to check the measurements before I start welding them bits on. Right, so I've got everywhere ground down now, I think, where I need to do. Just looking at them old welds in there, you can see the porosity in the weld where I've welded this box section on, and in there. That's an original weld, I think, and that's a weld that someone's done when they welded them extra boxes on. I'll get them plates clamped back on again now and tacked on. Right, that's them tacked on now. So I'm going to weld all the way up down here, because if I don't, and it gets water in between, then it goes rusty and it will like drain rusty coloured water out forever. So if I weld it all the way up, then I don't have that problem. So yeah, I'll weld round the bits I can get to now. I'll weld all the way around this bit, down these tops here. This end at the bottom, I'm not going to weld across there. All I'm going to do is weld round these, because I don't want any welds sort of cross over this box section. because that'll be where it snaps off. And then, yeah, weld all the way around here. Maybe won't weld across the bottom, I'll just weld down the sides and then fill that in. And then I'll turn it on its side, fill in them holes and turn it the other way up and do the same down the other side. Right, so that is that all welded up now, both sides, and then all them holes filled in. So it did bow a little bit. Well, I sort of knew it would do. When I welded up one side, it bowed that box a little bit. But then when I welded back up down the other side, it's pulled it straight again. So it's how it should be. So that's all right. Yes, when this is on the tanker, it sits on the tanker as it is now, and then holes at the bottom fit into like a jar, and then there's like a top link bracket that goes from them back onto the tanker. And then I'm not quite sure, I think it's the frame that the boom folds up onto, so the booms fold up and sit onto there, I think. And it fits on a Joskin tanker. I did think it was maybe off a Joskin because of the colour of it, green, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, what I'll do now is I'll just go around it with the grinder, take any sharp bits off, and get a spray down with brake cleaner, and then we'll just put some either red oxide or some grey primer on it. I haven't got any green, so I can't do it green. Right, so that's that sorted then. She's all welded up and painted. So the reason why I've gone all the way to the top of them plates is, well, apparently they've had bother with it breaking before. That's why it's had these extra bits of box section welded in, apparently. I can't really see why they've been welded in, but anyway. So yeah, I've gone all the way to the top of them plates to ensure that it's not going to break again. I could have probably replaced them boxes, but I thought that was just a simpler way of doing it. By the time I'd cut them boxes out, you might as well just start it again, where at least just playing it over like that, it's as strong, if not stronger, than using thicker box section. And I've not had to cut it in bits. All I've done is laid it over the top. It's a fair bit of welding involved, but I think that was the simplest way of doing it. So yeah, that's that sorted. Take that back out again. Right, next job for me then is to sort my car out. So it's failed its MOT, needs a new front spring, some new brake pads, and I think the ABS sensor, ABS light is on. So this is my car that I've been using for the last 2-3 years. I bought it for £100, put a new clutch in it, and then I've just sort of been using it as a runaround. MOT about 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't had time to get it fixed. Since then, I bought a VW Amarok V6 pickup to use instead of this, so I've not really been in any rush to get it done. But if I get it through its MOT, sell it with a year's MOT on it, should be worth a bit more. But I absolutely hate working on cars. It's being able to use spanners and fix stuff is a curse sometimes when it comes to working on cars. But then I refuse to pay someone else to do a job I can do myself because I'm too tight. Yeah, I probably won't record this because I'm not a car channel. But yeah, it's quite hard work doing a YouTube video every week, doing the editing for it, and then getting my own jobs done as well. So that's why I'm doing this during the week. Usually I'd do jobs like this on a Saturday, but I do my editing on a Saturday. So I have to do my own jobs through the week now and try and work around it all.